I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.
Donald Trump there speaking to supporters overnight in Florida. And now, just in the last 30 minutes or so, the AP has projected the former president will win this presidential election against Vice President Kamala Harris. The win was declared, like I said, in the last 30 minutes, Trump securing Wisconsin to give him 277 electoral votes. 270 is what is needed to win the election. Vice President Kamala Harris sits at 224. So here are the three other big things that we are watching as we head into today. Votes are still being counted in Michigan, Nevada, Arizona, and Alaska. These are not likely to change the course of the projected results, which is why the Associated Press has now made that official announcement. But we could see the electoral count for Vice President Harris go up. She didn't speak overnight, but her campaign did say she would speak today at her alma mater, Howard University.
So Republicans have gained control of the U.S. Senate by flipping at least two key states, unseating Democrats in West Virginia and Ohio, and successfully defending their incumbent seats. In West Virginia, Republican Governor Jim Justice took the seat vacated by Senator Joe Manchin. In Ohio, businessman Bernie Moreno unseated three-term Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown. Now, with these wins, the Republicans are looking at a 51-seat majority in the Senate.
Here in Kentucky, one of the two proposed amendments to the state constitution did pass. Amendment 1 will add language prohibiting non-U.S. citizens from voting. Secretary of State Michael Adams has already said that's not something that was happening, but he felt it was important to clarify the language to keep it from ever happening. Now, the other proposed amendment on the ballot did fail to pass.
Yeah, so Jim Stratman's here to break that down. We're talking about Amendment 2. This was really a big driver to the polls here in Kentucky.
I mean, you've been seeing ads for Amendment 2 for weeks and months at this point. It was, as you mentioned, a big driver for people here in Kentucky going to the polls, and it was answered, and really answered pretty clearly when you take a look at the results behind me. 65% of Kentuckians saying no on Amendment 2. That's about 1.2 million votes, close to 1.3 million votes against that proposed amendment. Now, the Associated Press called that race just before 8:30 last night. Amendment 2 would have allowed lawmakers to direct public funds to private schools. And this could have paved the way for funding voucher programs or charter schools. Louisville's GOP, which supported the amendment, says the amendment's failure stems from fear that this would bankrupt the public school system. But opponents of the measure say this was never a popular idea, and this vote just solidified that.
It's a tragedy for our kids, honestly. For our parents to be able to have a choice in the schools that they go to and to be able to get the different education components that they need.
I have heard plenty of times that our public schools are not meeting the needs of our students. I have heard plenty of times that we need to do more to increase opportunity for every student. But you know what I have never heard? That the answer to that is a voucher program.
Moving forward, because of the amendment's failure, public funds will stay with public schools. Now, there's no word yet on if the GOP will continue to push this measure moving forward. Eric, Grace?
Thank you so much. And the GOP will maintain its supermajority in the Kentucky General Assembly. All 100 seats were up for grabs this election cycle in the Kentucky House. In Louisville, Ken Fleming held on to his seat in a tight race, narrowly beating Kate Farrow with 51% of the vote. Former JCPS bus union president John Stovall lost his challenge for Emily Calloway's seat in House District 37. Calloway took 56% of the vote. Rachel Rourke won House District 38 with almost 51% of the vote. The incumbent was defending her seat against Republican and special education teacher Carrie McKeon. And Democrat Morgan McGarvey defeated Republican Mike Craven. It'll be his second term in the U.S. House representing Kentucky.
The election also impacted half of the state's Senate seats. In districts around Louisville, several candidates ran unopposed. Those included Democrats Cassie Chambers Armstrong from District 19, Gerald Neal for District 33, and Keturah Herron for District 35. Democrat David Yates won another term with 60% of the vote against Republican candidate Calvin Leach. Yates currently serves as the Senate's minority whip.
Turning to Indiana, Republican U.S. Senator Mike Braun will take over the governor's seat there. Braun defeated Democrat Jennifer McCormick and Libertarian Donald Rainwater and will replace outgoing Republican Governor Eric Holcomb, who's term limited. We're going to take you to Braun's election night celebration in the next half hour of GMK. And we do have all of your election results, including Metro Council, the Jefferson County School Board races, on our homepage. Make sure you check that out as you wake up this morning.
Coming up on 10 after the hour, we do have some other news of the day. And new this morning, Metro Police are investigating after a boy was shot in the Shawnee neighborhood. Officers were called to 41st and Market Street just after 10 last night for a shooting. They found a juvenile inside a home with a gunshot wound to his jaw. He was taken to a local hospital and is expected to survive. But if you have any information here, you're urged to call the LMPD tip line at 574 LMPD.
The suspect in a deadly shooting in Shively is expected in court for the first time today. 61-year-old Robert Gill is charged with reckless homicide. He's accused of shooting another man at a speedway on Dixie Highway close to the I-264 ramp. Police say that man later died at the hospital. Gill is due in court at 9 this morning.
And something that may have gotten lost in all of the election reporting yesterday, a new ruling in the Crystal Rogers case. Steve Lawson will be tried separately from his son. We learned about that decision from Nelson County Circuit Court Judge Charles Sims yesterday. Meanwhile, Joseph Lawson and Brooks Houck, which is Rogers' ex-boyfriend, will be tried together. Houck is charged with murder, while the Lawsons are charged with conspiracy to commit murder. All three are charged with tampering with physical evidence. Now, Steve Lawson's trial is scheduled for February 10th. Houck and Joseph Lawson will find out their trial date on December 5th.